Hello, Maxine.
Morning.
Morning to you.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you, thank you. I just found a place, a last moment place, because I had problem with internet
Oh
at my
no.
so because I'm in India and it's not
Ah,
easy.
cool.
Yeah, it's not easy at all to find a stable connection. So yeah, so I struggle a little bit with that, but I'm here. So just wait 2 or 3 minutes for other people to connect. From where are you, Maxine? In which part of the world?
I'm from the UK, but I'm in Geneva, Switzerland.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm from Italy, so we are.
Yeah, I followed when you were doing the breathing cold barley
Oh,
facilitator training. I followed you on
okay.
Instagram. I really enjoyed watching that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. Hi, Christian.
Hi.
Welcome, Christian.
Hi. Is it Dave?
Yeah, it's me.
Hi.
It's
Hi,
me.
Dave. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. Just waiting a couple of minutes and see how many people going to connect today.
Good.
That is also Robert. In which part of the world you are, Christian?
I'm from Norway, but I moved to Bali 4 years ago. So very happy with the change from Norway to Bali, getting a lot more healthy and happy and calm. And now in the last month or so, I really got interested in fasting. Both my parents got cancer, so I'm really interested in prolonged fasting of more than 3 days to regenerate stem cells, kill bad cells, kill cancer, all these things. And I'm not really that healthy. I do 10 minutes ice bath and 30 minutes sauna every day. And for me, that's been transformational from being chronic sick with inflammation to being healthy, fresh, clear, lots of energy, and no more sickness after I started 7 months ago. So I'm going more and more into the health route. I'm 54, so it's about time.
All right. Sounds great, man. It sounds great.
Thanks, brother.
So now if I got right, you are like 72 hours of fasting. Is it you?
Yeah, 76 hours now. First time I've done more than 2 days.
Wow.
Okay.
Trying to reach a couple of more days. Today I'm not so good. I was stupid to take espresso last night. I didn't sleep well, but I'm going into ice bath after this call.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, just first things for everybody, try to avoid caffeine and coffee during fasting, because as you can see, it stimulates a lot our nervous system. It's not good while fasting and getting too active and anxiety, and then you risk not to sleep during the night and not only so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if Robert, if you want to turn on the video, we can also see your face if you can.
Hi, good morning.
Robert, hi. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too, Piacere.
Yeah, from where are you from? So we have a few people, so we just dedicate a few minutes for knowing each other a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm also from the UK, like Maxine. So from the south of the UK. Haven't really done much in terms of fasting. I've been aware of fasting for a number of years now, but never really done too much. It's mainly been on the odd occasion, 24 hours. I was actually diagnosed with heart disease back in January, which was quite a shock. Had 4 heart stents fitted. I'm quite athletic, and I put that down to, in the main, probably a couple of decades of chronic stress and emotional trauma.
Yeah.
And of course, for stress and trauma, we then stress eat as well. So although I'm not overweight, I'm only 70 kilos, and I've been about 70 kilos for pretty much all of my life. I put that down to that. So I'm on a certain number of drugs at the moment. That will probably drop down to probably 1 drug, possibly 2, from January, which I may hopefully want to sort of knock on the head completely, and that one be statin. I think I've heard some sort of information about the reversal of heart disease or cancers and other benefits from fasting. So I've obviously got quite a strong interest in fasting there. How
Yeah,
it can help.
that's fine, man. So I think we can start, and yeah, just us, and then that's fine. So before starting, I invite you everybody just to close your eyes for a second, just for landing into this space and getting 3 big breath. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my story, so you know a little bit more better about myself, why I'm here, why Alex felt confident to leave me this space for him on his behalf. Yeah, so I'm 44 years old, and I was born with a liver congenital problem since my birth. And until the age of 15, 16, my disease wasn't diagnosed and wasn't so clear. And then I start to feel very bad, like digestion problem for almost my entire life. And I spent 25 years of my life through the normal medical stuff, trying to understand what can be the problem. And nobody was able to spot correctly what was my problem. And then 2019, so 5 years ago, they says to me, I had 6 months of life left because my liver was too fat, like a 75 years old man, and nobody knows what to do. So in 6 months' time, I had to face death or a transplant. A transplant was very risky for my blood type, so I had very few chance for saving my life. And the universe sent to me a message. It was fasting. And at that time, 5 years ago, my mindset was like, if I don't eat for 1 day, I'm going to die. So this was my mindset at the time. And but at the time, I was living in England with my wife. My son was 2 years old. And actually, I says, oh, "Come on, universe! I don't agree with this plan. I don't want to die, you know." And so I decided to. I inform myself for the next 3 weeks about everything about fasting. Try to find a place where to do fasting, but I didn't find. I only find a place in Siberia. It was a 3K for 25 days fasting. Actually, it was 2 weeks fasting and one week of alimentation again. But it wasn't good. So I decided to collect all the ingredients for starting a therapeutic fasting. And it was supposed to last 40 days. So 40, like Jesus Christ, actually. And I started on my own. I just had my wife helping me to prepare all the things for fasting. It was a liquid fasting. And actually, I saved my life because I found so good that I ended up doing 80 days of fasting. So almost 3 months without eating anything. And I lost 35 kilo because I was 100 kilos at the moment. And the thing is, I completely regenerated my liver. Now my liver is like a 25 years old man. And never been so well. My energy level is very, very high. And that from that day, I became on a raw vegan diet mainly. I then started to study for 2 years in a private university in Italy, and I became an hygienist. Hygienist, probably nobody knows what it is, but it's the most famous hygienist in the history was like Platon, Socrates, and the best people thousands of years ago. So actually different from the naturopath, the hygienists believe that we, with our body, we have the enough strength for cure everything, every kind of disease we have inside. So without any external help. So since that now is 5 years that I didn't take any kind of drugs anymore, even for a normal headache. And so I study a lot, all about diet, all about fasting. I help many peoples through fasting to cure everything, because basically we can also cure something like cancer, something like any kind of disease, because actually the disease is just something that is not balanced inside us. And we eat two things in our lives. So what we eat, we put inside our body, and our thoughts. So these two things are the things that mainly feed ourselves. So emotional balance is very important, as well as a diet. So diet is 50% of our health, and how we think, how we act, and how we feel is actually the other 50%. So yeah, this is my story. In the meantime, the last 3 years, I became also a mental coach, a mentor, also with the American School of Think and Grow Rich. And now recently on May, I've done the 3 weeks training for becoming a facilitator, breathwork, ice bath, and authentic relating with Alex. And yeah, so that's me at the moment. So this is why I'm quite confident, because since then, that time I've done 80 days of fasting, but then I've done also a couple of times 25 days, and then I've done weeks. So for me, fasting is a normal company in my life. And also I experiment on myself every kind of diet. I've done also dry fasting as well. So not even drinking liquid and something like that. It's very effective, but the thing is, we really need to pay attention to eliminative crisis, because the more we fast, how fast we go in detoxifying our body, the more eliminative crisis can appear inside our body. And this is why doing 3, 4, 5 days fasting is completely safe. Everybody can do it. But going further, you need to be very careful about listen to your body, what can happen to your body, and fully trust that your body can heal itself without any external thing. But it's very important how to do it. It's very important how to start with food again. With 2 or 3 days or 24 hours fasting, it doesn't really matter. But for longer period of time is very important. It's more important the integration of food. Think about that. For me, after 80 days of fasting, it got me almost 3 months for coming back to a normal diet, because my stomach was like the one of a baby. So I needed actually to start again to teach to my body how to digest. And the first day I just had a slice of an apple, and I reached to eat one entire apple in 1 week. So this is what very slow integration of food, but after 80 days you can understand that is completely game changer. And I completely changed my life, not only physically but also spiritually. I have a mystic experiences, and yeah, with my subtle bodies and things. So my life really changed. So that's my story. I'm open to listen to your questions and answer to that as much as my knowledge I can do it. And then yes, from that point that we can do it. We still have 45 minutes left, so we have time. We just have 3 people, so I have more time we can dedicate it to each of you. So who want to start with their question?
I'll ask a question.
Yeah, Maxine, please.
So I like to train in the mornings. We've just done a weight session. How do you stop your exercise? Because you obviously can't refuel your body if you're fasting.
Okay, so my advice is just the first 3 days of fasting are the more critical because you feel they're hungry. So you feel they're hungry for the first 3 days. After the fourth day, normally the hungry sensation disappear because we switch from running through glucose from the external food, and our body convert our fat into ketosis. So we are going to using our fat actually as our fuel. And using the fat as a fuel actually is more effective than glucose. So the first 5 days, I recommend just to rest as much as you can. If you want to do some exercise, it's good to do some gentle yoga, like yin yoga, not something very hard. But after that, I have to say you can exercise normally. As soon as you feel it, you can do it. The only things you have to pay attention during fasting is when you stand up, very quick from a standing position or from a lay down position, you can have a little bit of dizziness, okay, because tendentially we have a lower pressure, blood pressure during fasting. So the only thing is it can happen is something like that. Of course, if you have something like headache, tummy ache, or any other kind of eliminative crisis, just listen to your body and experiment. So you can start to do gentle, and if you feel good, keep doing it. And if you don't feel it, just lay down and rest. So normally, I repeat, very few days of fasting you can do also while working. So in a normal environment, it's not so challenging apart from the hungry sensation and the feeling that, oh my God, I'm hungry and I feel a little bit weak. But after that, our body starts to use fat as fuel and you feel more energetic. Think about that. For example, in my case, I was on the 45 days of fasting, so almost like 1 month and a half, and I've done a go-kart racing. So I done a race with a go-kart, just drinking water, and I didn't feel any kind of fatigue and or stress. Actually, I was more performing that my normal activity. So as long as you go further, you are more energy. On the other side, if you do a normal fasting, so just with water, and you don't have with a therapeutic fasting, you can have eliminative crisis. So it can be like headache, it can be tummy ache, it can be whatever, tachycardia, so your heart get accelerated rhythm, something like that. So this is why you need to be careful. But I want to say, if you do just few hours or just 5 days of fasting, you can exercise normally. Just listen to your body, and if you feel to stop, just stop, lay down for some minutes, and everything is fine.
Okay, great. I've got 3 other questions, but I guess we'll take turns with everybody rather than me.
Yeah, it's fine. So anybody else want to?
Yeah, I have 3 or 4 questions also. First of all, congrats, brother, about saving your life and transforming it. It's very inspiring. When you look, I'm a novice to fasting, but I've been reading quite a lot, and there's a lot of info about the first 72 hours, different stages, etc. But there's very little about after day 3 to maybe day 7, which is what I kind of want to go into, because it seems like a lot of the regeneration of stem cells, killing cancer, killing bad cells, really starts accelerating after 3 days. So can you kind of dive a little bit deeper into, 3 or 5 or 7 or 10 days fasting compared to just stopping at 72 hours?
Yeah, so actually, as I said, doing a few days is completely safe. If you go further, it can become quite dangerous because the eliminative crisis, so the detoxification, can be stronger than your immune system. So this is why it's always advisable to do a therapeutic fasting. Therapeutic fasting means that you are going to do also enema. Do you know, everybody knows what is an enema? Never.
No.
So enema actually is like you grab a 2-liter bag and you fill in with, normally is water. It could be like 37 degrees temperature, normally the same temperature of our body. And actually with this tube, and you put inside your anus, and then you release and you fill your intestine, your colon, with this liquid, holding a little bit and then release. Because the main problem is we are guided by our bacteria, by our microbiota inside our intestine. So what if the problem is, especially for people, we had normally we have not a natural diet for our entire life. And the older we are, the more old shit inside our colon that reduce the size of our colon. And also there are shit that is there since years, but it's become very, very hard. So it's very hard to release that. So we need to use also liquid inside our colon during fasting for soften and then release and then putting out. Because when we fasting, that area start to release toxins, and they start to release toxins inside our blood stream. And that toxins are the main responsible for feeling sick during fasting and this thing. So it's very important. So normally during a therapeutic fasting, you drink 2 liters of liquid a day. 1 liter is with fenugreek. I don't know if everybody knows what is fenugreek. It is like seeds. There is a procedure for doing fenugreek. And the second one is equisetum, or horsetail normally. And you do this kind of 2 infuses, and it helps a lot for cleansing and clear everything from the mouth to the digestion system. And enema help for the other side to complete. So we are going to put this liquid through the mouth and then going out from the anus. And this cycle helps us a lot to keep our eliminative crisis manageable and getting out a lot of shit, parasites, especially if we are used to eat meat. It doesn't matter if it's white meat or red meat, but meat rotten inside our intestine and creates parasites. And these parasites attack our intestines. And then they start literally to drain and suck our energy level and then release toxins inside our bloodstreams. So this is one of the main causes of disease. For example, if you think about if you eat fruit, normally it takes 30 minutes, 45 minutes to complete the entire digestion. If you eat processed food, it takes like 2 until 4 hours to process everything. And with meat, it can take from 18 hours to 36 hours to get out from our colon. And all that time inside us putrefy and become rotten, and all these kind of toxins get inside our bloodstream. This is one of the main reasons. So it's very important, if you want to do more than 5-6 days of fasting, do it therapeutic fasting, because also if you have the cells who is going to recreate more fast, the more days you're fasting. On the other side, if you don't help our system to cleanse, it can be a problem. Just for giving you an example, I know it's not very, it can be quite disgusting, but it's very important that you are aware of that. I kept pulling out from my colon shit after 70 days of fasting. There were still shit inside my colon, and everybody is like that. So the older you are, the more you have these kind of things inside our colon. This is why it's so important doing getting these infuses for cleansing our first part of intestine, and also doing enema every day for cleansing the colon, because otherwise our immune system is not able to manage that. So especially if someone has a big disease like cancer, like everything, it can be like a something like that. So very heavy disease is very important to be very carefully. And normally the body can heal itself completely. There are some cases that the process of cancer or things is too late. And also with fasting, you can improve the quality of your life, and also maybe the age, so you can live some more years, but probably you're not able to reproduce and heal completely the cells. Okay, so this is it. I think I repeat, until by 1 week of fasting is safe to do it on your own. Otherwise, I will not recommend to go further, just drinking water without doing enema, just for this reason.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. So Robert, if you want to make a question, then coming back to Maxine.
Yeah, thank you, Dave, and thanks for sharing your story. Just truly remarkable, and yeah, congratulations for what you've done. Thank you for sharing your story and everything that you've learned. You hear these stories sometimes on the internet. Yeah, it's great to actually speak to somebody that's done it. So yeah, I've got a few questions. I guess in my case, I've also got high levels of Candida, if you're familiar with Candida.
Yes, high level of Candid, you said?
Candida, yeah, the yeast overgrowth. So I'm on a protocol there. So at the moment for me, I think to take on something else is probably going to be a little bit too overwhelming to try and do like a long fast. So for me, I think perhaps doing some short fasting at the beginning would maybe be beneficial to do it slowly. What's the situation with fasting and the drugs that I'm taking currently? For example, is that something I can still do for a day or two, or do I need to take? Do I still need to eat something small? Just when I'm taking the drugs, or can you still take the drugs without any food? I don't know if you're able to comment on that.
Yeah. So how long are you getting this medication, these drugs?
So I'm going to finish. So I've got one is called the Levitical, I think it's called. It's like a blood thinner with an aspirin, and there's also like a PPI to help protect the stomach from those drugs. There's so that's going to be until about January, so for another 5 or 6 months. And then after that, then I think it's just going to be a statin and potentially I can't remember the name of the other drug. But I've also seen different research on statins and their benefits, and actually I think there's been some reviews on people that have taken statins, and I think the extension of somebody's life is something like 5 days from somebody that was taking a statin, somebody that wasn't. So actually they're yeah.
Okay, so yeah, actually in your case and in the case of getting drugs, the thing is everything we introduce from external, so every external help like drugs, something like that, is going to interfere with our immune system. And so it can be a clash, and it's not a good thing. So normally, if you go on a long fast, I repeat, a few days is not a problem, but a long fast, I don't recommend to keep taking drugs. But in your case, it's like you have many months ahead of you keeping with that. My advice is like not doing fasting, but there are many other ways for detoxifying the body. So fasting, so there are a scale, no, there is a ladder. So dry fasting, for example, is the fastest and the more efficient way to detoxify our body. And the first level is intermittent fasting. Okay, in the middle there is a range of many options. They are really bespoke to every person, because there are some people like me, they are very drastic on off, and he says, okay, enough, and I go for 80 days journey. I don't recommend to anybody to do it on his own, because it was very dangerous doing that. And but it was a life or death moment for me. But if anybody is in the same position, there is, for example, in your case, maybe it can be advisable introducing, so changing a little bit your diet, introducing raw food for during every day in some way. We can structure together if you want, and then adding like 4 or 5 days every 2 weeks or every month, or of just liquid diet. For liquid diet, I mean, if you have a cold press juicer, you can do juice and like fruit juice, or you can mix it with vegetables as well. And just going on that, the most important thing is, if you drink juice, or if you're going on a fasting on a juice, so just liquid one, it is important that after you have done the cold press juicer, you are going to filter again. So it has to be as liquid as it can, because also if you use the cold press juicer, there are fibers in it. And if you introduce fiber, also if the very seems very liquid, our digestion system starts. And the purpose and the goal of fasting is just keep our digestion system at rest, because 70% of our army, our immune system, is dedicated for the digestion system. So every time we eat something or drink something with fiber in it, our army that is around for doing maintenance in our body, because our body is so wise, it knows perfectly what to do, where to fix, what is the priorities. So 70% of our army going inside the digestion process. Also, if you eat a little bit of bread or crackers or just a juice with some fibers. So it's very important to filter again and having only liquid. So, for example, for what you told me, but of course, we need to have a deep conversation, if you will, too. At this stage, I will just advise not doing fasting, because if you getting drugs and fasting at the same times, they are clashing together. Because from one side, the natural process of our body doesn't need any kind of intervention from external, and especially because the drugs I go to try to limit and get ease and lower the symptoms. But the majority of case doesn't go to the root cause, and the root cause can be soma or psyche. So it can be a psychologist thing or a body thing, and so I don't recommend doing the same. So at the moment, how many hours are you fasting?
I've only done a 24-hour fast before.
Okay.
So at the moment, yeah, I've not gone any further than 24 hours. I've also done, so maybe you suggest also like the 16-hour fasting window, which I've heard about, maybe sort of from maybe midday to 6 p.m.
Yeah. So yeah, the first thing, as I said, the best way, it's valuable for everybody. If we are able to do intermittent fasting, and the ideal is having 18 hours fasting and just 6 hour a window for eating. Because as long as we can keep our digestion system at rest is the best. So normally, this is very important also to know the circadian rhythms. I don't know if you are aware about the circadian rhythms, but normally from 12 to 8 in the afternoon is the time when we getting food inside. From 8 in the evening until 4 in the morning is the time where we are processing and assimilate what we eat. And then from 4 in the morning until 12, so midday, is the eliminative rhythm. This is why in some cultures says, oh, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but actually it's not, because normally from 4 in the morning until midday, we are in our eliminative rhythm. So normally we pee, we poo, we detoxify our body. So it's very advisable not to eat anything during that time. There are many tricks we can use, like doing juice with the cold press juicer and then filtered it. So you have vitamins and things, but you don't start your digestion system. And yeah, there are some tricks for getting around, and because not everybody are able to do 18 hours fasting. The minimum request normally is 16 hours. So from midday to 8 in the afternoon for eating. You can have 1, 2, or also 3 meals. It doesn't matter really, as soon as we stay in intermittent fasting. Then, depending from how fast, of course, if you do intermittent fasting, the detoxification is lower than if you do liquid fasting, than if you do dry fasting. So dry fasting is more effective, but it's very, very hard to bear. I don't recommend anyone to do dry fasting if you are not clean enough your body first, because it can be very, very, very hard. Because the difference with the liquid fasting is that we, through the liquid, so water or water with lemon or whatever liquid we are going to use, the toxins inside our body needs to go all around our body over the process, and then filter by the kidneys, and then go up outside through the pee and through the poo. So it takes time. With the dry fasting, actually, the cells, the temperature inside our body raise at the level so high that the toxin, the viruses, the bacteria burn itself, like being in a oven. So there is an auto combustion, and they don't need to do all the path or the journey through the pee and through the poo. But it's very high demanding for our immune system, and it can be quite risky, so I don't recommend. But this is the fastest way. And in the meantime, in the middle, there is many other options. So at the moment, I don't recommend you to go any further with the fasting. But if you want, afterwards, I will give the opportunity to everybody. If you want to get in contact with me and doing a personal journey, I'm available, of course. And I can recommend you precisely, depending on your needs and everything you need, what you can do to taking drugs in the meantime and detoxifying your body, helping it, and in collaboration and not clashing all against the other. Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome. So we still have 20 minutes more or less. So last question for all of you. So Maxine, if you have another question.
Yeah, I've read quite a bit about fasting, but I'm no way an expert, but I would like your opinion on if women should fast differently from men, because obviously women need to have some fat in their body to protect, reproductive areas. And I've also read that it can really hike your cortisol levels, so put stress on your body. Is that what you've been taught or know about?
Yeah, from my experience, there's not much differences between women and men.
Okay.
And yeah, the only things, of course, women has to be very careful during the period.
Yeah.
And because of course, with the blood loss, you are more weak. So during those 3-5 days of period, just having more rest. So my recommendation is, if you are on a fasting, just lay down, sleep, read, and meditate, and stay as much calm as you can. But scientifically, so far, there's no scientific study that says specifically, and from my experience, that there's much differences between women and men. We are all human beings with different functions, but no, I can say is the same.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Christian?
Yeah, I actually have two questions, but I think it's going to be quick. Number one, I read that doing apple cider vinegar and 1/3 of lemon and also chlorophyll is fine for not breaking fast. But I'm addicted to snus tobacco, and it's kind of unclear if it breaks fast or not. Do you have any experience with that? And my second question would be how to break fast the first couple of days, soup, bone broth, avocado, fruit. Is that the right way? And is it okay to start eating more normal after a couple of days?
Yeah. So basically, tobacco is not a problem, and because it doesn't stop, it doesn't break the fasting. Okay, it's not actually is not healthy habit, because normally fasting means that in those days you are going to detoxify all your body. So it should be also detoxification about the mind, about the thoughts, about the behavior, about the social media, the phones. This is ideally the best thing. So not only a physical fasting. So tobacco, it doesn't break it, but of course it send a signal to your brain, but probably is not so completely safe to detoxify completely, because there are some external substance that are entering inside, also if it's just the smell or something like that. But it's all about like breathing, not like the breathe. No, we need to give the right signal to our nervous system to say it's safe for doing that. So tobacco is not something that suggests to our nervous system to relax. So if you can't avoid, it's fine, doesn't break the fasting. But of course, from healthy side or medical side, it's not so recommendable. And the second thing, if you fast for 24 hours or 2 or 3 days, actually it really doesn't matter how can you reintroduce your with a normal diet. It passed so few time that your body is still completely active for digest anything. By the way, say that if you can, just adding 1 or 2 days only fruits, it will be perfect. So think about that. Normally, raw food, can be fruits, can be vegetables. It's our natural food. So we are the only species on Earth that we altered completely our diet. We forgot our true nature, because any other species on the world cook or alter their food. So we are the only one we are doing that. So, and there is many hours we can talk about that, and about physical and mentally and emotionally. We are not meant to eat things differently from raw food. Say that my advice is, as long as you can introduce fruits as first food, your body, mind, and everything will thank you. And I advise watery fruit is better. So like, I don't know, watermelon, pineapple, something more juicy is better, because inside that there is organic water that actually is the only one our cells absorb immediately. And if you eat enough watery fruits during the day, actually you don't need to drink mineral water or external water, because all the minerals inside that are inorganic. So actually, if there is calcium and any other things, is not our body is not. There's no way that is going to absorb it. So this is we drink a lot. Many doctors say, "Oh, drink 2-3 liters a day," but because we are dehydrated, because we don't eat properly. So as much as we eat junk food, processed food, anything like that, we need this one because we don't need enough organic water from fruits. That is our natural food. So yeah, so there's no any particular advice. After 2 or 3 days, you can eat everything. Also, if you can break the fasting with a pasta, actually you can do it technically. But of course, if you can do through fruits, is the best thing you can do for 1 or 2 days, even better.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Robert, the last question? Or a couple of questions if they are quick.
Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else, but probably more for a long-term chat outside. We'll do sometime.
Okay, that's fine.
I actually have one more, Dave. I'm planning, to do maybe 1 day fasting per week, and then maybe 4 longer spells per year, maybe 7 days 2 times a year, and 3 to 4 days 2 times a year. Does that sound like a reasonable and good plan, or?
Absolutely it is. Especially fasting 1 day a week. You're improving, I can say barely, your immune system by 30-40%.
Yeah.
Just fasting 24 hours, one day a week.
Yeah.
My advice is to start always in the evening, like having a early dinner, like 5, 6 in the afternoon, because in this way you have the more critical time where you feel hungry is during the night. And during the night you sleep normally, so you cheat a little bit about 8 hours as much as you can sleep. You don't feel any things, no? And then you wake up maybe late in the morning. I don't know if you do a Monday to Friday work, maybe you can sleep Sunday morning. My advice is Saturday evening, 6 o'clock, having last meal, and then sleeping until, I don't know, 11 midday on Sunday. And there you go. You're just a few hours away from 24-hour fasting, and then easy peasy lemon squeezy like that. And if you can do 1 day a week, beautiful. It's a great help for our immune system, of course. And also planning 2 or 3 times a year, like 5-7 days fasting is good as well. And you don't need any specific preparation before doing that, or there is any particular problem for integrating. 7 days fasting needs a couple of days of only fruits. Yeah, you need to be a little bit more careful of the reintegration of food with 7 days. Until 3-4 days, it doesn't really matter. It's quite safe for doing almost anything.
Okay, perfect. I'm actually thinking to do 4 days intermittent a week, and 1 day full fast, and then 2 days eat more and during the whole day.
Absolutely. You will see your body, your mind, your soul, everything will thank you a lot for doing that. Yes, absolutely. It's completely safe.
Perfect.
So yeah, guys, actually, if you want to reach me, and I'm in the group, so I don't know, I think I don't need to leave my contact details, but just text me and we can set a free call again, and then organize a plan, and I can follow you online. It doesn't matter. We can do a journey, whatever is your goal, because sometimes it can be losing weight, it can be feel healthier or cure some disease and everything. I'm available for doing a bespoke plan for everybody is interested for doing so. Okay, man.
Thank you, Dave. Much appreciated.
And before
Thank you,
saying
Dave.
goodbye, I just want to invite you again, close our eyes and live in this space. just integrating what we said so far. Taking time for us, slowing down. Focus our attention of the breathing, close to our nostril for a few seconds. Life is beautiful. We are all limitless, powerful human beings. And I invite you to take 3 big breaths. Again, inhale through the nose. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And last time, inhale. And let it out. And when you feel comfortable, you can just slowly open your eyes. And coming back to our beautiful lives. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. And I will, if you don't mind, I will leave this recording to the group, so also other people can benefit from what we talk about it. And yeah, everybody's okay. Just raise your hand if okay if I share the recording. Thank you very much, guys. So have a wonderful day and speak soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Dave. Have a
Bye.
good day.
And you.